Hey guys, I'm totally starting today's video from my brother's toilet because today I'm teaching you how to make this minimal toilet paper holder. It ended up being a more challenging project than I thought, but I have a bunch of tips of things you cannot mess up, and so your project hopefully will be a lot easier than my original was. So first I cut two 5 1/4 inch pieces of wood and one 6 inch piece of wood. And I'm just gonna take the two 5 1/4 inch pieces and take a cup and I'm gonna line it up to one end, and then I'm gonna trace the circle just along that edge. And then I'll repeat it with this one, and then I'm gonna cut out the semicircle with a jigsaw. Once you've cut and sanded the two side pieces, you're gonna measure from the flat end in 3 1/8 of an inch. And then from the top side, you're gonna measure in 1 3/8 inch. So then at both of the marks that you've marked, you're going to use a Forstner bit the same size as the end of the toilet paper holder, and you'll drill in a hole about halfway through the board at both of those marks. Well, I messed this one up because I didn't think about what side needed to have the hole, and it needed to be this side and this side. So I just drilled another hole, and honestly the toilet paper will be covering it most of the time, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. So I'm just gonna leave it, even though I could just cut a new piece. Okay, I'm gonna try to not make any more mistakes here. So on the back side of the flat board, I'm gonna measure in on both sides 3/4 of an inch. No, that's wrong. 3/8 of an inch, so that it's halfway through the thickness of the board on the side. So we're gonna measure 3/8 of an inch, and then in an inch from each side. And then I'll repeat that on the other end. And then at each of those marks, I'm just gonna pre-drill a hole all the way through that's big enough for the screw to fit down through. And then still on the back side of the board, I'm gonna use a countersink drill bit to drill out at each of these holes so that the screw will lie flush and not block the wood from laying flat against the wall. Then I'm gonna take the back and I'm gonna line it up with this flat side of the rounded board. And you can either just mark out where the holes touch the board, or you can just screw through there. So I made the marks using the holes, and then I'm just gonna pre-drill at those. Then before you attach your boards to this one, you're gonna flip it back to the front side, and you'll measure across the center. Make a mark at 2 inches and 4 inches, and then just make sure it's measured to the center at 1 3/4. And then at those marks, you're just gonna pre-drill a hole all the way through so that your screw can go into the wall and secure it to the wall. And then you're also gonna use the countersink bit at these two marks. And then you can flip that board back to the back side, line it back up with these sides, and then just secure it with screws. And then once it's all screwed together, you can just attach it to the wall, and then you can put in your toilet paper holder here. So after I put it together, I actually realized it's kind of a snug fit, but I bought this one and it's longer and a little bit, it has like more resistance in it basically. So I decided it would be easier if from the hole to the top of it, if I just I'm gonna use the same Forstner bit and just go partially, not even as deep as I did with this hole, and then just do a few drills on the way up so that it kind of is like a little, I don't know, a little cutout where it can slide down in place. So this is how it looks after I drilled that out, and then I actually was just annoyed by the hole that I had accidentally drilled, so I just filled that in, let it dry, then just sanded everything down. So now I'm just going to decide where I want to place this. I I ended up moving it over to this side just because it was easier. It was like super low on the opposite side of the toilet, so I decided to move it here. Gonna measure it out and then pre-drill holes into the cabinet, and then I'll screw it in place.